How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the #1 Raiders show in the world. This is the Raiders Daily. Alright, my name is Steven Michaels. As you know, let's get this thing going. It is free agency frenzy, and there's been a lot of drama with your Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to try to talk about it all right here on this show. As you know, free agency is going to go on for a couple of weeks, so probably going to have to do another show next week because I expect the Raiders to sign at least 4 to 5 more players through this free agency. You know, it could last 4 weeks. They are yet, as I tape this show, as this is being recorded, they have yet to address the safety position and the cornerback position, the secondary. They will do that eventually. They're doing it smart right now, no doubt about it. The safeties, no one's really been touching the safeties really. So that market will go down. The longer no teams touch any of these guys, the better for the Raiders, as they will become a lot cheaper. Cornerbacks, yeah, some have gone off, but there's still a couple that are available that can come in and help the Raiders. They only really need one, and then they can draft a guy. Remember, they have Mullins, they have Damon Arnett. They just need one veteran there, and obviously they need help at safety. They might bring back Eric Harris, but I don't expect him to be a starter. They're going to get someone there. There's no doubt about it. But let's talk about what has happened in the last 48 hours. First of all, the Raiders start free agency off with a bang, and they sign a guy who they almost gave up a #1 pick for just last season to Jacksonville. Yannick Ngakoue. His name is very hard to say, but I just call him Yannick. But anyways, the Raiders get this guy. John Gruden's been talking about he needs a pass rush. They need to get after a quarterback. For so long, they finally get a guy who's dominant. And I love this guy. This guy, you know, he talks trash. It's going to be funny because I don't know if you guys remember, he had a little Twitter war with Derek Carr's brother, who hasn't. That guy's a troll. But had a little, you know, and he kind of verbally, Yannick pretty much verbally destroyed him on the Twitter. It was pretty funny. So now Derek Carr has to be his teammate. I love it. But listen, this is a guy who has had 46.5 sacks in 5 seasons. This is a guy who's going to come in and help that Raiders defensive line, which we're going to talk about in a second, tremendously. It's going to help out Max Crosby. It's going to help out everyone. And that's what the Raiders did in this draft. They went out and they rebuilt their defensive line. The Raiders, their defense last year was it was terrible. That was probably the worst defense I've seen covering the Raiders. They were absolutely awful. Any team could get a first down. I mean, Matt Ryan could sit back there forever and no one could even get after him. They have been building that defensive line through this free agency, being smart, taking a guy like Yannick, but also taking chances on guys that, you know, 1-year deal guys that can come in and make an impact. The Raiders also lost the alligator to the Patriots. They overpaid. The Patriots overpaid this guy a lot. Good riddance. He was great with the Raiders, but let me tell you something, okay? My family, they're all Eagles fans. They hate Nelson Agholor. You know why? Because he dropped critical passes in the cold weather. So good luck in New England, especially when you have Cam Newton throwing to you. I don't think that's going to turn out well for the guy. I really don't, but whatever. Who cares? The Raiders certainly don't, because they were able to replace him very quickly with a guy who I think, to be honest with you, is going to be better. He's actually going to be better. It's a better replacement. This guy's under the radar. Derek Carr is this guy hasn't had a quarterback like Derek Carr, in my opinion, that could get him the ball. And not to mention, as you know, the Raiders are pretty much loaded with Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow. So this guy is going to get open. John Brown comes over. He played for the Bills. This guy, he has all the speed in the world. He is going to be good for the Raiders. I'm telling you right now, watch out for this guy. He is going to be very good. He really is. Now, he's only on a 1-year deal, just like the Alligator last season. A 1-year prove-it-to-me deal. Who knows if he might have a breakout season and leave. But the bottom line is, this guy's going to come in and be able to help Henry Ruggs, a guy who's very young. They're kind of similar a little bit. This is a perfect addition for the Raiders. And I don't think they're done at wide receiver, by the way. I really don't. I could see the Raiders, because it's John Gruden, bringing in one more wide receiver, one more veteran. They did re-sign Zay Jones. I don't know why. The guy sucks. But they re-signed him. I know Derek Carr likes him. That's probably why he got re-signed. But he's terrible. Let's see if he even makes the roster, because I firmly believe the Raiders will either draft a wide receiver or get a veteran in free agency. And let's not forget this. I'm going to talk about this with another player later, but let's not forget, the Raiders have Bryan Edwards. They didn't really use him much last season. That was never the plan to use him that much last season. This is going to be the year that it's going to be Bryan Edwards' show. He's going to be the number 2 wide receiver on this team. And this guy, I mean, we're going to see what he's all about. Let's hope he's as good as the Raiders think. Because if he is, they're going to have a ton of weapons back there. They really are. So that's pretty much all what they did. They did re-sign Denzel Good. And obviously Richie Incognito they re-signed. We all knew that was going to happen. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. They ended up, people thought at first, everyone did because his agent leaked it out, that the Raiders released Rodney Hudson, when in fact they did not release him. It's just that he would not take a pay cut and he did not want to be a Raider, yet Raider fans were mad for some reason. I don't know why you're mad. The guy hates you. He doesn't want to be a Raider. He hates all of you. He is your enemy. If he leaves your team, he is an enemy. You guys got to get that straight. Raider Nation has to, they have to understand this. This is why this team has been a losing team for so long, that fans, for some reason, I cover this team, I can't believe it. They accept losing. They even have a little motto: win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. I've seen it everywhere on Facebook. You should never, Al Davis never said, I'm fine with losing. What did he say? Just win, baby, right? Just win. There was no, I'm okay with losing or tying. I'm still a Raider fan. No. It's all about winning. That's what John Gruden's trying to do. And hopefully he can accomplish that, because if he does not accomplish that, then he should be on the hot seat. But it's all about winning. Rodney Hudson no longer wanted to be a Raider. He would not take a little bit of a pay cut just to help out his team get better. Meanwhile, he cries they're not getting better. But he wants all his money. I mean, the guy could have took a pay cut and still got all of his money next season, just to let you know. But he was a little crybaby, and the Raiders know. Trust me on this one thing. The Raiders know a lot more than any of us know. They know this guy is 32 years old. This guy missed a lot of practices last year with his bad ankle, just like Kelechi Osemele. When the Raiders cut him, fans were outraged. They couldn't believe it. What happened the season after? The guy just completely fell to the ground and he was done after 5 weeks. That's what happened. They knew his body was deteriorating. They knew it wouldn't hold up. They know that's what's happening with Rodney Hudson. And they got a guy in Andre James who is younger, who already showed he can go in there and be just as good as Rodney Hudson. Now, I know Derek Carr might be a little upset about this, but Derek Carr, listen, you got to step it up too. Because that whole, Derek Carr's getting an extension thing came and went. So this guy, Derek Carr, just like John Gruden, you're on the hot seat. It's time for winning. The Raiders trade. They end up trading Rodney Hudson after his agent purposely tried to, say he got cut. And the Raiders, in a mirror, I cannot believe this. Even after, widely reported, by the way. Everyone thought it was real because the agent told everyone. It wasn't like, these fake people on Twitter, which, by the way, there's too many of these people. If you're on Twitter, please, I'm begging you, don't believe, some weird, weird Twitter handle. Don't do it, okay? Just listen to people like Ian Rappaport or, Tom Porcello or Adam Kaplan. I don't know. People aren't going to lie to you. It's stupid. I get people asking me all day long, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? No, it's not true. It's not true. It's true if, I don't know if Adam Schefter posted. And I'm no fan of Adam Schefter, but he knows what he's doing. He's a real insider. Those people are not. Okay? They're just looking for likes and retweets because they're mentally ill. So please, be careful out there with the fake news. But anyways, the Raiders end up getting a 3rd round pick and a 7th round pick for Rodney Hudson. They ship him off to Arizona. 32 years old. Good riddance. He hates you. Remember, he hates your guts. We hate him. We hope nothing but the worst for him in Arizona. The Raiders also ship off Gabe Jackson. That was something that, I thought the guy was gone too. He was told he was being released a long time ago. His agent did the same thing. And guess what? The Raiders still win. They cut the guy. They wanted to cut him last season. They cut him this year. And they get a 5th round pick for him from Seattle. Last season, the Raiders were trying to get a 5th round pick for him. And they could not do it. No one would give a 5th round pick for this guy. Now they finally got him. So now they're gone. And a lot of fans were freaking out. They are so worried about it. I don't know why. Because you got Denzel Good back. You got Richie Incognito back. Like I said, Andre James is going to be perfectly fine at center. You got Josh Simpson there. The Raiders are going to be completely fine. You got Colton Miller. Yes, they're going to eventually have to get someone at the right tackle spot, but they're fine. They're fine with what they have. They really are. If anything, you should know by now. You watched last season. You watched all the games. Tom Cable could plug a guy off the street and put him in that offensive line, and somehow they look just as good with these backups than they do with their starters. Trent Brown is finally gone. Good riddance. I hate that guy. He's fat. He was out of shape. He doesn't love football. This guy's getting paid millions of dollars, and he has to be motivated. You have to get him motivated to play a game, and he's getting paid millions of dollars. If I was getting paid 2% of what he was getting paid, I would walk right now to Las Vegas barefoot if I was getting paid, a quarter of what he was getting paid. All the way from Massachusetts, I would walk to Las Vegas right now if you told me you're giving me $1 million. Meanwhile, this guy can't get motivated when he's making, $30 million bucks, or whatever the hell he was making. I don't even know. This guy, he was a disaster. A disaster. Never could play. He's a COVID spreader. No good. Glad he's gone. Let's talk about the positives here. What the Raiders managed to do in one of their best. Right? If this works out, if these guys end up being great, this is the best free agent class, I don't know, for a long time. They go out and they get Quentin Jefferson. Cheap deal. 1 million bucks. You bring him in. This guy can come in. He can get sacks on a quarterback. And then they're not done on that defensive line. Like I said, they stack this defensive line. They go out and they get Solomon Thomas. This is another guy. Prove it deal. These are the guys you want. These are the guys you want coming off an injury. They have something to prove. That's what the Gruden wants. And they come in hungry. Look at Nelson Aguilar. Like I said, he comes in after getting kicked out of Philadelphia, right? Getting booted. He had to take a 1 year prove it to me deal, and he played awesome. No doubt about it. And he got a big paycheck for it from New England. Now he's going to drop every pass thrown his way now because he's playing in cold weather, but that's what happens. The Raiders are doing exactly what Tampa Bay did. They got a lot of hungry guys that, maybe at the, a little bit older, but they really want a ring, and the Raiders are bringing all these guys in, and they're bringing in guys that are hungry. And remember this, Raider fans, a lot of people are forgetting this. I keep trying to remind people. I mean, you think about it. They got Thomas, they got Jefferson, they got Max Crosby, they got Yannick, but remember, they also have David Irving. And they re-signed David Irving, and if you remember, David Irving was a beast. A beast. Last season, the Raiders brought him in mid-year. They couldn't, do that much with him. Before that, and the guy got in trouble with the Cowboys, but he was still sacking the quarterback like crazy. This guy has been great pretty much his whole entire career, and then he got in trouble. But he is a monster. Now he's going to have a full off season. The Raiders are going to be able to get after the quarterback finally. And they're not done. They end up signing Nicholas Morrow. They re-signed him. I'm sure they're going to go out and get another linebacker. Maybe it's Melvin Ingram. Maybe. We'll find out pretty soon. If not, it will be someone else. And like I said, they still got to fix the secondary. Now, they wanted to re-sign most of their own guys, and they did do that. Like I said, Zay Jones was kind of, not something they had to do. But they re-signed Jonathan Hankins. I don't think they really needed to do that either, but they did. Nicholas Morrow, I think they had to re-sign this guy because this guy has been getting better every single season. And, he's not that bad. He's really not. He really showed last season he can play. I don't know if he'll end up being a starter, but we shall see. They wanted to sign back Takk McKinley, but he ended up going into Cleveland. I don't know why. I mean, the guy was in Vegas, but who cares? The guy really didn't do much while he was with the Raiders anyways. But so far, what started off with a big bang and then Raider fans getting all mad because Rodney Hudson was gone. Listen, now I think things have changed. Now everyone's like, wow, look what the Raiders are able to do. And remember, free agency just started. We're just starting here, guys. And they completely rebuilt their defensive line. They really did. Their defensive line right now on paper is so much better than it was last season. They are going to be able to get after the quarterback finally with these guys. I am telling you, this defense will be better. It will be much better. And now you got Kwiatkowski coming back. You got Morrow coming back. Corey Littleton and Gus Bradley's system is going to be much better. Like I said, maybe bring in another linebacker. You got to fix the secondary. There's no doubt about that. You need a safety. They might bring back Eric Harris. If they do, he's not going to start. You need to get an established safety back there, and they're all still available. From Anthony, when I'm doing the show anyways, Anthony Harris is still available. They're all still available. Trey Boston, you name it. There's so many guys, safeties available. A lot of guys who worked under Gus Bradley. The Raiders aren't really that worried about it. They're going to be able to find someone to come in there and help this team learn Gus Bradley's scheme. Also, going forward, they're going to have to grab a running back. I think they should do it in a draft, but we know it's John Gruden, so he might go after a veteran. It's just logic here. They were planning on signing back Devontae Booker, but Devontae Booker actually got a contract somewhere else, which is kind of surprising to me. But Devontae Booker played pretty good last season, but I think it's Gruden's fault. I really do. I mean, this guy would start having a couple good runs, and they would yank him for Josh Jacobs, who, let's be honest here, wasn't that great last year. He's dealing with injuries and things like that. So if they do go get a veteran, I hope it's a guy who is more physical, like a Josh Jacobs type, because that's what they need. They have Jalen Richard. I'm not really sold on him. He's good at blocking for being a small guy, but other than that, the guy, his vision's terrible. But they also, I mean, I got to be honest with you, going back to Rodney Hudson, the Raiders, one of the reasons why the Raiders went in a different direction, and one of the reasons why, Rodney Hudson, first of all, didn't want to be a Raider anymore, but besides that, the Raiders' run game really struggled last season. And if you go back and watch some of the games, you don't have to be like me and dissect everything. Just go back and watch some of the highlights. You'll notice that Rodney Hudson was not really opening up holes for these running backs that much last season. And Trent Brown, the guy was hardly on the field. He's a big guy where Josh Jacobs could run behind him, and, that would be good sometimes, but the guy wasn't motivated, he hardly play, so there's no point of paying him. And Gabe Jackson, very replaceable. I think the Raiders will be just fine. I really do. I don't think people are going to even remember Rodney Hudson by week 3. What I am worried about, to be honest with you, is John Gruden and Derek Carr and the defense, that secondary. They got to get better in that secondary. The defensive line, kudos to John Gruden and Mike Mayock. They made all the right moves there. They might not even be done, by the way, with that defensive line. But they got really better there. They brought in fresh blood, guys that are hungry to play, guys that want to make an impact immediately, guys that can get after the quarterback. And this is a team that was ranked, I think, 30th in sacks last season. You're not going to beat anyone like that. You got to get after the quarterback. Tampa Bay Buccaneers just won a Super Bowl. And the reason why they did is they got after the quarterback. That's what the Raiders need to do. They got to get after Mahomes. They got to get after Justin Herbert. They got to get after whoever the Broncos quarterback's going to be. Who's it going to be? Drew Lock? Or are they going to try trading for Deshaun Watson, who's in a whole bunch of legal mess right now? Some Raider fans were hoping the Raiders would trade for Deshaun Watson. Now, that would be awesome because this guy would fit very well in that system. Also, we got Marcus Mariota. What do the Raiders do there? We're going to find out. I'm recording this. It's about 11 o'clock at night. I think we're going to know. It's Wednesday night. I think we're going to know Thursday. Maybe even, Thursday, at midnight. What's happening, or, around maybe the next day. We're going to find out what they're going to do. They asked the guy to restructure. That's something they want to do. At the same time, they can't pay him $10 million. That's stupid. It's dumb. They'll pay a backup quarterback $10 million. So he either restructures or they find a team that will trade for him and hope they can get maybe a 4th round pick and they don't have to pay him that $10 million. And then they go out and they get a safety or maybe 2 with that money they save by cutting Marcus Mariota. But either way, they can't keep him at that salary. So he's probably going to get cut unless the team does trade for him. The Raiders they managed to trade 2 guys that everyone thought were already cut because their agents leaked it out because they are crybabies. But, they still got something from them. I don't think you guys understand. That is like something that never happens. All these teams had to do is just wait a few days. I guarantee you. I don't care what any beat reporter says. They're wrong about everything. Every one of their little predictions, they've been wrong about. Just to let you know, because they don't know what's going to happen. Just like I don't know what's going to happen. The Raiders don't even know what's going to happen. What their next move is going to be. They reach out to a bunch of players and they see what works. It's impossible this year to know who they're going to sign next. Because they could be looking at a cornerback, for example, but then a defensive lineman falls into their laps and they start talking to that guy. Next thing you know, they're signing a defensive lineman. I know for a fact that happened today. I know that for a fact. So that's just the way this works. So when people go on there and they say, oh, the Raiders are going to, this is who the Raiders are going to sign, and they're wrong about every single one of them, and yet they're a Raiders beat reporter. Come on. These guys are, They're doing terrible with their predictions here. They're like 0 for 30. They really are. And instead of just waiting and seeing how everything unfolds, they want to act like, they're in the know, when in fact they're not. And then they listen to, Rodney Hudson's agent, and they get a story that's pretty much BS, to be honest with you. And I know the real story. It's not being fed to me by an agent. You know what I mean? Here's the story. Rodney Hudson wouldn't take a pay cut. That's the story. He wouldn't take a pay cut. The Raiders asked him to. He said no. So the Raiders said, all right, well, we're going to trade you. And Rodney Hudson was mad because Andre James was getting a lot of reps and practices last season. And he's seen the writing on the wall. That's what was going on. Not to mention, like I said, Rodney Hudson missed a lot of practices last season because he was ankle injuries. The Raiders doctors and trainers know a lot more than some guy who can write an article and is very good at grammar. That is just facts. John Gruden knows football more than someone who's very good at typing. That is just facts. So, to wrap this all up, guys, so far, 48 hours in, I would give the Raiders, we don't know what's going to happen on the field, but on paper, an A for what's been going on here. You had to cut Rodney Hudson. He did not want to be a Raider. He's not a Raider. I don't ever want to see him ever be associated with the Raiders. He is anti-Raider. Gabe Jackson, whatever. He's all right. Nelson Aguilar, he went to the Patriots, so he's the biggest enemy. I mean, he's a sellout. He's an enemy. I wish nothing but the worst for him in his career. That's how I am. I am very cutthroat. You know that. I only care about winning. And by the way, I'm joking when I say I only wish the worst. I don't care what happens to them. I really don't. But that's just the way I am. You love it or you hate it. I speak the truth. I am the voice of the voiceless. I am trying to get you guys excited. You should be excited because this team is only getting better. And like I said, I'm not giving up on Derek Carr just yet. I want him to play well this season. I think the talent is there. I thought the talent was there last year for this offense. And remember, they won 8 games. They were only 2 games away from winning 10 games. If they had a better defense, I bet they'd get to 10 games. I guarantee you. They could have got to 10 games if they had a better defense. So now, it looks like they are. They're on track to get a better defense. The Raiders, only one wide receiver is gone. And like I said, it's going to be the Bryan Edwards show. Get another running back in there. Maybe another wide receiver will come. And the Raiders will be better on offense than they were last season. So things are looking up for all of you guys. Understand that. Things are looking up, and we are not even close to being over. We still got a couple of weeks of this. So let it roll. We're going to bring in some veterans because that's what Gruden does. Hopefully they make the right decisions, and the Raiders can get on track to winning again. The Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. Usually that's a bad sign for the next year. So who knows? This division is going to be up for grabs. And the Raiders been losers for way too long. Gruden came in here with a $100 million contract. It's time to put that money and show why you got paid $100 million. If not, Mark Davis, you need to do something. You're in a new town in Las Vegas. You already made some terrible business moves. You're on AM radio, for crying out loud. You already made some terrible business moves. This team needs to start winning. You need to start selling tickets. So it has to start this season, or the whole thing needs to be blown up. That's just the truth. But I think it can turn around. I really do. We shall see. We will know more. Next week, we're going to do another show on free agency just for you guys. I will talk to you guys later. And remember, you can watch or listen to the fastest Raiders show online with me and Philip Robinson. That comes out weekly. I'll probably post it every couple of weeks. It's only really exclusively on the group. the Raiders Daily Elite, our subscription group, but we are going to start posting those publicly so you guys can all enjoy those too. All right, guys, my name is Steven Michaels. You just listened to the greatest Raiders show you ever listened to in your life, and you know it. This is the Raiders Daily.